What's going on, guys? We're back at part 2 here of how to ride a motorcycle. Part 1 of this video we just filmed. It is the basic controls of the motorcycle, so I covered everything that's on the handlebars here, a little bit about the clutch, the brakes, etc. If you haven't seen that video and are interested in seeing that video, go check it out. If not, if you're coming from that video, let's get into the fun part and more in depth on how to actually start this thing and get into the cool stuff. Now, like I said, guys, I know you probably saw that first video and you're like, okay, this basically told me nothing. He just went over the controls. But that is the purpose of this series. I'm trying to break this down into little 5 to 10 minute videos for each part, so it's not me just ranting and forgetting stuff over the course of like 30 minutes and covering everything. I'm trying to break it up into little blocks and segments so it's easier for both me to do and easier for you guys to follow along. So without further ado, let's get right on into it here. So if you remember from the last video, if you saw it, in order to get moving here, we're gonna have to first turn on the power, the electronics, the battery of the bike, and turn the ignition into the on position or the run position. Now we got that. You see the gauge is swept over. We got power to the bike. We got stuff lit up. You can't see it, but my headlight's on, and stuff like that. So, in order to start a motorcycle, there's basically two things you wanna look out for before you start your bike. One, you want to be set up on this bike here. Number one, you want to make sure that this kickstand is in the up position. It's folded up. Boom. Now my kickstand is up. I'm supporting the bike, balancing the bike with my feet. The reason why you want to do that is because some motorcycles, they won't even start if that kickstand is down. So if you're trying to start your bike and you're hitting all the correct buttons and you're wondering what's going on and why is it not starting, there's a chance your kickstand might be down. Another thing you want to look out for when starting a motorcycle is the bike should be in neutral. What is neutral? Neutral is in between first and second. It is, the bike is basically not in gear, so it could roll freely, just like how neutral would be on a car. How do we know we're neutral? A couple different ways. One, the bike's on right now, and you see this green N, or you see the N up here for neutral. That is one way. A lot of bikes will at least have this green neutral indicator, or a green light will come on the dash, on the gauge. Let's say you don't have the bike on and the bike is just completely off. How do you know this bike is in neutral? Well, if you physically push or roll this bike backwards or forwards, like I'm doing right now, you can see the motorcycle has no problem rolling. It will roll and roll and roll and roll with no issues. However, if I put the bike into first gear, I will explain how to do this in a second. Now the bike is in first gear. I'll show you. When I fire it up now, you see that green light is gone, and then for my gear, it does not say N anymore. There's just a dash. So now the bike is in first gear. If I go to push it, boom, it's stopping. This bike will not roll freely. It'll go like a little bit, and then it'll just lock up. So, before you start, we want to make sure, one, we're neutral, two, that kickstand is up. When those two things are done, we are good to go and start this motorcycle. Let's get into it. So, in order to start it, you got your kill switch here. You want to make sure it's open, it's not crossed out. This would be to kill the bike like I showed you before. But this will allow you to start the bike. And to start it, you press that little lightning bolt. And we are in neutral. The bike is started. You see, I don't got to have my hands on the handlebars or anything like that because nothing is going to happen. The bike is just simply going to be idling and just idling. The bike is on. Now, let me turn this off just to explain. So, good. You got the bike started. You got everything getting ready to go, and you're ready to move the motorcycle. Now, some of you guys, I'm guessing if you're watching this, have never ridden a bike with a clutch or a manual transmission car or anything like that. So you have your clutch here on the left side, and then you have your gear shifter here for your foot. Now regularly your foot rests on the foot peg like this. In order to go up with the gear shifter, you click your foot up. In order to go down, you pull your foot off the peg here, the floorboard, and hit it down, okay? And that's neutral. Okay, so the way this gear shifter works, and I will throw a picture up to better kind of explain this. Most bikes have 5 or 6 gears. All the way down to the bottom is going to be 1. Half a click up is neutral. Up again is second, third, fourth, fifth, and possibly sixth if you have it. Now, I know that's kind of like weird to explain, and that throws a lot of people off because they're like, what do you mean that half a click up is neutral? How does that work? How do you know how to do half a click? Why wouldn't it just go from first to second? I'm going to try to explain it the best I can, but guys, the best thing to do is actually get on a bike of your own and kind of get the feel for it and mess around with it by yourself. I could explain it so I'm blue in the face, but until you actually get on a motorcycle and mess with it and get your own feel for it, it's really not going to make sense. But anyways, like I said, so all the way down, so the bike is in neutral right now, so technically we're in that little half stage between first and second. Now, if I click all the way down, boom, we're all the way in first. I just did it a couple extra times just to be dramatic, but this is how you know you're in first. If you ever don't know, you just hit that thing down and you'll feel some resistance. That means we're in first. So we're in first gear. I want to go into neutral. I put my foot under here and I just do a slight half kick. It's almost like I make contact with this shifter and then just inch my foot up a little more. Wait. Boom. And there's the end. Like I said, that's how you know you're in neutral. The bike's going to move freely now. Just roll freely. So if I wanted to go from first to second, I'm all the way back down in first now. Instead of just doing that little, baby little half click I just did, I'm going to do a full boom. You hear that like solid click. That's me shifting through the gears. So I did second, I did third, that'd be fourth, that'd be fifth, and that would be sixth. Get all the way back down again to first. So we got it back in neutral. And we are going to get, like, Nick, how do I get rolling? I'm just going to get you set up here and getting the bike moving in first gear. Part 3 is going to be shifting of this series. So if you're interested in that, you can go to that video, or just bear with me here while I teach you how to get this bike actually rolling and in moving here in first gear. So we're in neutral. Our kickstand's up. We go ahead and open that up so that the kill switch, and just to give you guys an example here, here's my kill switch. So if this kill switch is engaged and I try to fire up the motorcycle, nothing is going to happen. I have to disengage that kill switch and then hit this, and now we're all fired up. So that's why you have to mess around with that button before you actually start it. So cool. So we're in neutral. The bike is started up. My kickstand is up. Everything is looking good, right? How do we get this bike actually rolling now? So we're going to pull this clutch in all the way, right? So I'm holding it all the way to the handlebar. I got my hand up here. Here's my throttle. Cool. Do not keep this pin back while you're doing this. Just your hand loosely resting on it, not pulled towards you at all. And we're going to go ahead and kick the bike down into first gear, because you always want to start off in first gear and work your way up. So going down to first. Boom. We're in first. That neutral light went away. How do I test I'm in first? Slowly let go of this clutch. What starts to happen when you'll start to feel in your hand where the bike kind of grabs. It's weird. It's hard to explain. I'm sure you heard other people say that in videos, but I'm telling you, it makes sense. Slowly let go here. You see the bike starting to roll because I'm letting go of that clutch. If I pull this in again, bike stops moving. This is like your panic thing here. If you pull this clutch in, I don't care if you are pulling this all the way down, this bike is not going anywhere because you're disengaging the power to that rear wheel when this clutch is pulled in. So that is just like a little tip. Keep that in mind. But we're still in first gear here. We slowly start to let go of the clutch. And another thing you could do is very lightly, very gently, you want to give the bike throttle in this hand while you let go with the clutch here. So if I'm pull back so you guys can see, I'm slowly letting go with the clutch in my left hand, and I'm slowly kind of guiding it with gas in my right. And notice how I said slowly for both of these things, meaning slowly release the clutch, and definitely slowly pull back on this. You guys do not need to give these motorcycles, I don't care what kind of motorcycle you have, you do not need to be giving it all this type of gas and throttle. That is going to set you up for just a world of hurt. Please don't do that. That's what I'm saying. We're in first gear. Slowly let go of that clutch. Slowly give it some gas. I still am releasing the clutch. I'm still releasing the clutch. Now I have that clutch all the way out. And now I'm just controlling the bike. See, no more clutch. And I'm just controlling the motorcycle here by turning it. And I mean, actually I'm not even giving the bike throttle right now. When you're in first gear and that clutch is fully let out, the bike's gonna, I mean, I'm moving at like 9 miles per hour right now. Now obviously it's gonna be different for different motorcycles, but yeah, if I want to come to a stop, I pull in this clutch, slowly apply the brake just like you would with a bicycle. And I was using my foot brake a little bit too, which is that rear brake. Okay, tip though, you do not want to pull in this front brake if your handlebars on that motorcycle are not completely centered. These handlebars, like how they are right now, they are centered. If I'm turning like this and I panic and I squeeze this front brake, this front tire is going to lock up and this bike is going to go straight down on the ground. You do not want to do that. But yeah, that is, there's my kill switch. That is everything you need to know about the basics of how to shift into first gear, how to get the bike moving. The second part of this video, we are going to be doing kind of the more fun stuff of actually riding the motorcycle and shifting. So we're actually going to get up to speed and away from this little 10 miles per hour stuff and actually do the art of riding the motorcycle. So thanks for checking it out. See you guys on part 3. And yeah, drop a comment. Let me know if it's helpful for you guys. I appreciate it. Peace!